And at the death, at the end of the game, Eustáquio, who I call Pistachio, slaps it, touch, chest, boom, right into the bottom left corner. And holy, as a Canadian, what a game! I was watching it with some of my friends at the local pub, and my God, the way the crowd, or not the way the crowd, but the way the pub turned up at that goal, insane, man. I think, look, as a Canadian who watches footy regularly, look, we know that this team is not that great, but to go to the round of 16, our second ever World Cup win, my God, how much that means to the country, I cannot even explain. I can't even fathom to explain, or I couldn't even put in the words or put together the words to explain how much that might mean for the country. Obviously, I watch footy regularly, and I'm not as passionate about international footy because I don't really have a country that I'm attached to that actually has the quality to make it. But I think these type of performances, these type of or not even these type of performances, these type of results, this type of tournament is what you need to get attached to a country. I remember World Cup 2022. I'm thinking in my head, we have a tough group, Belgium, I think it was Croatia. But I thought, you know what, maybe we can do something, right? Just finish third, be respectable. And we lost all three games. And I don't even think we scored a goal. And it was sad. It was honestly sad to see. And before that, I've never even seen Canada at a World Cup. Or even be in contention for one seriously. So World Cup 2022 disappointment, and you know what? That was probably my greatest ever attachment when it comes to the country in terms of the national team in footy. And I thought, you know what? There might be potential. Alfonso Davies, Jonathan David, and I thought, you know what? We might cook, but it didn't happen. We we sold. Honestly, that tournament we had a tough group, so I can't blame us too much. I think it was Morocco, Croatia, and Belgium, but I was thoroughly disappointed in that tournament, and it kind of made me detach a little bit. But then Copa America 24, I think it was, or maybe it was 25. I can't remember. 24, I think. And we go, I think, to the semis. I'm thinking, I'm like, yo, you know what? We might be back, right? And honestly, I was proud of us to even make the semis. It's not honestly, I don't think in Copa America the way the format is, it's pretty weird. So it's not that difficult, but still, to be repping the North America or the North Americas. I think we're the only country that wasn't South America there in the semifinals. Obviously, we're proud, but it was a unfulfilling performance against Argentina where we played okay, but I thought it was just the quality gap was just insane. And then coming into the World Cup 26, you've seen it before if you've seen our previews or anything. Honestly, not much faith, not much hope. I thought we could do good in the groups, but I thought right when we go to round of 32, it's over for us, right? But no, I think that win, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. Listen, in Canada right now, there's not, at least where I've from and where I've seen people I've talked to, there's not that much interest in footy. People call it soccer, and it's not that popular here. Obviously, you have still, footy's a global sport, so there's still footy fans, but not as much as what you would like or like to see. But these type of wins, these type of tournaments, this is what gets you across that line of, you know, the youth actually being invested in the sport. I remember for me, from grade 1 to 5, maybe you're playing footy. You're playing footy all day, every day. But then right when grade 6 came around, it just became basketball. And ever since, it felt like this country is dominated by basketball and hockey. Fortunately, the Leafs don't do anything. So in the GTA, it's depression when it comes to the Leafs, and Raptors won it in 2019. So it's been basketball ever since. But these type of wins, man, it's what grows, it what develops, it what spurs a generation of players. And man, honestly, I'll be real. I was slandering. I was so upset with some of the final actions. I thought, honestly, we were pretty open and they were pretty open too. It was a pretty open game, and I think a game that lacked severe quality. or it was a game that severely lacked quality, but we kept on missing the final action. I thought in our third, I thought we defended as well as we could. I guess we were okay in defending. They didn't create many chances, good chances at that. Um, and in the middle, I thought we were okay. I thought sometimes I forgot who it was, their number 7, but there's also another guy, maybe their number 20 it might have been. We let them drive through the pitch a little too much, a little too freely. And they, when one of their players got the ball on the dribble, it looked like they could just dribble through our whole team. But besides that, I felt we really dominated 2/3 of the pitch. But that final third, man, that final action, horrible. I think beside that 15-minute spell in the second half, I think we generally were the better team. But that final action, man, Jonathan David, promise, David. The other guy, I can't pronounce his name, from Villarreal, Buchanan. Some good performances or some okay performances there, but listen, man. Beside the hat trick against Qatar, I've been disappointed with Jonathan David this tournament. And I was surprised that Kyle Larin did not get subbed on any point. But who cares? Who cares? If I'm giving overall analysis, I think besides the fact that we weren't good in the final third, and it took magic. It took magic, but we got that magic. Besides that, I think you kind of saw real quality when Alphonso Davies came on the pitch, and it shows, man. It shows. He comes on, and yeah, maybe after the first 5-10 minutes when he first came on, he didn't do much. But in that first 5-10 minutes, he created 2 high quality chances, not even from anything special. One is one is a smart ball, and the other one is just a clean ball through the middle, accurate pass. It felt like in the final third when we were trying to play on the counter, there was few and far between for us. It felt like we just lacked quality in the final third. It felt like we got to the final third and we panicked. But Alfonso, it felt like he brought stability for that 5-10 minutes. And I thought for that 5-10 minutes, I feel like momentum really got on our side. But after that, after you could see that Alfonso's, I guess, getting, fresh pitch or fresh aura, I guess. After that kind of wore off, I felt like South Africa, where it was in that final 10-15 minutes, it felt like it was going back and forth, but I just felt like South Africa were going to do it. Maybe that's the emotion. Maybe that's the bias. But I just felt I was like, if it's going any way, it's going South Africa's way. But man, Eustáquio, man. I call him Pistachio. Eustáquio. I don't even remember how it got there, I'm going to be honest. All I remember is him touching it with his chest, I believe it was. Touching it, good touch, and striking it so cleanly on the volley. That's a hard finish outside the box. It's a hard finish, man. A hard finish. But he was one of our better players today. I think consistently, out of anyone that stood up, I think he stood up the highest. He stood up the tallest. I think he was, from Canada's perspective, the best player on the pitch. You would expect Jonathan David and some of these other guys to turn up, but no, Eustáquio turned up. And honestly, from our perspective, engineered that win. Everything good that Canada was doing came from Eustáquio until that last 20 minutes where it looked like he was tired and a little sloppy with his play. But besides that, everything good was coming from him, man. And look, I don't even want to think about the round of 16 because we're playing Netherlands and Morocco. It's we got a fighter's chance, but I don't expect anything if I'm being honest. But what a performance, man. And way to do a country proud. Way to do a country proud. First win, first goal ever in a World Cup this tournament against Bosnia. First ever win at a World Cup against Qatar. Now first ever knockout win against South Africa. What a way to do a country proud. And honestly, I pray that this spurs on a generation. This type of win, I hope it spurs on for the next tournaments to come. That there's some confidence. We can do it. We've done it before. We can win these games. We can win at the World Cup. Man, I'm ecstatic. My voice, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit gone because we're honestly so proud. I think it doesn't matter as long just be competitive in the round of 16. That's all we can ask for. You have a fighter's chance, but just be competitive. But man, what a way to do your country proud, and what a finish to win the game 1-0 Canada. Wow.